I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction podcast. And right on time, the guy in the next tower over starts sawing into some stone. So I might have to close the doors here in a second. But I am your host, struggling through another day here, deep behind enemy lines in paradise. And back with me, as usual, Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. What's going on over there?
I've had a rough day, so I needed something to make me feel better about my day, and I found it. I found it really quickly, so we're going to jump right into that, and then we'll pick up with the rest of the show.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. In a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em. Our hearts so true. Our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
So for those, explain what the hell that was for the listening.
Yeah, for the only listening audience, you really gotta pull the video up on this one. This is straight from the Department of Homeland Security's Twitter or X page. It's a video of ICE agents raiding and arresting people, being set to the music of Pokemon and the gotta catch 'em all. And the post even says, gotta catch 'em all. It's hilarious. I love it.
I guess you have to kind of understand what Pokemon is.
Oh yeah. See, I never got into Pokemon. I guess it kind of started when we were maybe in junior high, but I think more like we were more probably in high school whenever Pokemon started to kind of become a thing. Anyway, I never got into it. The kids, they're pretty into it. Katie more so than Sean, and it comes and goes. But yeah, never really was my thing. But
there's just way too many characters, I think, for me to. My nephew loves it. I mean, he's like 7, but he's like trying to explain this shit to me. Like I lose interest about 30 seconds in. I know there was like that big craze a few years back when people were like playing it in real life, kind of.
Yeah, the Pokemon Go thing. So Katie does that, and all right. So this is my like smart kid who goes to the like advanced smart kid school. She was trying to find like apparently they have these like hotspots or places where the Pokemon will like pop up on your app and then you have to catch it. So, but like as you're walking around, so it's like you're using your camera, I guess. And anyway, she was bored sitting here at the house and decided to go try to find one and got her ass lost out down the road like a couple miles away somewhere, trying to like hunt Pokemon out in the middle of fucking nowhere. And it's like, Katie, you're supposed to be the smart one. Like, come on.
It's pretty funny. You got one going to the special ed school, and then you got one in the advanced placement. Genetics sure are crazy.
Yeah, aren't they? Yeah, we are.
Oh man. Anyway,
in his defense, it's actually brilliant what Sean did, but yes, he's in the special school.
Oh man, I would just be, the amount of embarrassment I would suffer from going to the sped school would not justify getting out of. He gets out of school like 6 months early or something.
Yeah, he's done. He finished up. He finished up last week or week before. Gosh, I think it might have been the week before last.
When does he start? I still don't understand how this works, because every other normal kid is like just starting school last week.
Yeah, they've been in school for a month and a half, and he's done already. He already finished everything. So now he gets to get a job and work and just kind of like dick around and hang out, and then he'll go back in May and walk at his graduation.
That is bizarre. I still don't understand it.
Yeah. Corey says, I bet he flexes all over him and on the tests in there. Why not? All right. So the way the program works is you have, X number of credits that you have to graduate. So the way this program works is it's for the kids.
We're talking about high school, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the kids who like aren't really cut out for sitting in class and doing the like normal school shit, or like a lot of the kids that are in that program come from kind of like not so well off families, and so the kids need to work. So like they go to school in the morning and then they work in the afternoons, just so so they can help their parents and and take care of their siblings and have a roof over their head and food on the table, which is pretty sad. That's not why Sean's doing it. He just figured out how to game the system. So they give them a packet with your credit, and you go through the packet, you learn everything, and once you've established that you've learned everything in the packet, they let you take a test, and as long as you make an 86 on the test, then you get credit for that credit, and then you move on to the next one. So Sean is actually really smart. He would just read through the packet in a day, take the test, and in a day, he's going from 8 to 11. So he would read the packet in like 2.5 hours, take the test, and be done with it. Like he was seriously getting a credit a day, or a credit every other day there for a while. Is like fucking nuts. So he figured out how to get out, and I guess that's more power to him. I mean, what's he really learning in school anyway?
I mean, based on what I see now, actually, I might not have sent you that clip. I reposted this thing. It was like some lady talking about how her kids are being treated in one of these government schools. One was 6 years old, and then the other one, she said, was older, but like why don't I just fucking play it? Like, why don't I just put it up here? I can do that. Maybe. Let's see here. But it's just like, yeah, you really got to be careful where you're sending your kids, especially if it's like one of these public government schools. Private schools, maybe they got a chance. But I mean, yeah, the chance that they're going to destroy your kid is equal or maybe greater than they're actually going to learn something of value beyond like, basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's like once you got that down and you're not like an illiterate retard, then what else is it all for? Most of the shit you could probably learn on your own just watching YouTube videos as well. Here, let me share this. Maybe share my screen. What's this one? And
I'm a Nazi father. My son, 6 years old, was prohibited from sitting next to his friend on the school bus because a parent objected to my perspectives on book challenges. My older son's history teacher allowed students to label him a Nazi file simply for his interest in history and participation in ROTC. She later nominated my son as the most likely to become a dictator and had his classmates vote on it and try to force him to the front of the class to receive the certificate, which he rightly refused, all because of his conservative values and our perspectives.
Thank you.
Dude.
All right.
So she was holding up a fucking certificate that the teacher tried to give her son, nominating him as most likely to be a dictator. That's your fucking history teacher for you. I mean, I would pull my fucking kid out of that school. Like, first of all, the teacher be hearing from me in the hallway or something, you know? Like, fuck you, lady. Or fucking douchebag. I don't know if there was a male or a female teacher, but I bet the level of testosterone was about comparable either way. And I mean, that's like fucking child abuse. And they're starting in 6th grade or 6-year-olds. Jesus.
Yeah, what goes on in these people's lives where this is normal for them, like to abuse and bully kids for having an interest in history and not gonna lie, if they tried to give me an award most likely to be dictator, I'd walk up there and take it and be like, and first you and you and you and you are all gonna be my bitches. Like I would lean into it a little too hard. Sean, Sean's gigantic, which I was also always one of the taller kids and smarter kids. And like Sean is gigantic. Like whenever he was having problems where like classmates and stuff were picking on him, I was like, dude, you are literally the biggest kid in school.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever pick on you if you don't want them to. I was like, deal with it. If something happens and you get, and you know, this is what I would say all parents should tell their kids. Like, if there's a problem, fucking deal with it. If the problem's black, after you hit the first one, watch out for the next 3 because they're going to be coming to jump you from behind. But that's a whole other thing, and we can talk about that. If there's a problem, fucking deal with it. And if they call me to come pick you up, we'll go out to eat and we'll go see a movie afterwards. Like, but yeah.
I mean, there's a couple things. Did you see that they like did some survey of the number of like Gen Z parents who are going to job interviews with their kids and like talking to their, like, it was a crazy stat. I forget exactly what the numbers were, but like imagine taking your mommy or daddy to your job interview with you and having them
in management who has done quite a bit of hiring. If somebody shows up to a fucking job interview with their mom or dad accompanying them, I'm kicking both of you out. Like I have, dude,
it was like 40%. It was like a crazy stat. And it's like, yeah, that's because these kids were not taught to like handle things themselves from a younger age. And then when you think about, I mean, we were making this point during the whole Charlie Kirk fiasco. It's like, yo, they're propagandizing these kids, not like Nazis from like age 6 are the worst possible fucking things ever. And all you like, everybody that gets ridiculed is a Nazi and a fascist dictator, blah, 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 blah. And they beat that into their brains for 15 years. And then they put them out on the fucking street and they say, oh, look, this guy's a fascist Nazi dictator. What do we have to do to him?
I think I've done all right. I think I've done all right with Sean because he sends me a bunch of like Nick Fuentes clips and reels and stuff. And like, all right, maybe we're going a little bit the wrong direction, but it's better than the other direction. I'll take it. Like send Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes clips and like,
I would take Andrew Tate over any of this leftist shit, like every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Especially now, like I mean, I never really listened to a lot that he had to say, but like, I'm sure, you know, when he was much younger, like 10, 12 years ago, or he was like a 25-year-old, just being like the fucking Bugatti guy. and with like webcam girl, like his messaging wasn't nearly like his messaging that I've seen from him, like since he got out of prison and everything. There's almost nothing wrong with it, from my perspective. So he seems to have matured a lot on that. I would take him any day of the week, twice on Sunday. Yeah, this leftist crap is just, it is destroying. I mean, we've watched it destroy cities in real time. And I mean, all these other institutions that they're in control of, they're all being destroyed. You know, they're all kind of crumbling together. The school system, these big cities, they're an absolute, just an absolute disaster, and they're destroying these kids along with it. You had that stat on the mentally ill people. How many women are mentally ill now?
Oh, this one's just fucking hilarious. Yeah, it said.
I guarantee you it's related. I mean, these aren't like older women that are claiming to be mentally ill, are they?
Half of liberal women under 30 say they're mentally ill. And I reposted that on Facebook and I said, and the other half are lying to themselves. But what was the thing that you sent?
Under 30. Like, yeah.
Here's some stuff that you had sent with some like Gen Z psychological frailty sets the stage for unique vulnerability to social contagion suggested by the explosion of gender confusion. Transgender identification among young adults surged from 0.59% in 2014 to 3.08 in 2023, a 422% increase, with non-binary identities up 1,260%, and transgender men quadrupling 309%. Driven by social media echo chambers and peer pressure. Gallup's 2025 poll shows LGBTQ plus identification at 9.3% overall, nearly triple 3.5% in 2012, doubling in 5 years, with over 23% of Gen Z, born 97 to 06, identifying as such. The Williams Institute 2025 poll estimates over 724,000 transgender youth. This confusion pushes youth towards drastic measures like mutilative surgeries and fuels. I don't know why I was having so much trouble with that word. Mutilative surgeries and fuels mental health crises. Rising detransition rates underscore the error. Tragically, only 13% of detransitioners receive support from LGBT organizers versus 51% during transition. A shameful abandonment of distressed young people. So it's cool if they decide they want to trans, but when they decide that they realize they made a mistake and they want to detrans, well, we don't support your choices anymore.
You got bamboozled. I mean, so those numbers right there are just staggering. You can take this whole, they were born this way theory and shove it right up the ass next to that dildo that you guys are walking around with, because that's fucking ridiculous.
When you see stats and stuff like this, like half of liberal women under 30 have mental issues. That, you know, all of that trans stuff, that's all mental issues, and that's all being socially driven. The mental issues for all of these women under 30, that's being socially driven by the media, by social media, but mainstream media and social media is what's pushing this on them. Is it any wonder that, like, when you start looking at demographic breakdowns, like young men from like mid 30s down to 15, 16, my son's age, they are progressively identifying more and more and more conservative, and not just more and more conservative, but even by like our standards, more radical conservative. Like Harry says, quoting Fuentes and Milo and what was the one we were talking about earlier? Fucking
Andrew Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. Like, and that's not bad if, like, for me, Sean and some of his friends quote that stuff and they think it's funny, but they also take it seriously. And so then I get to be like the grain of salt, like, hey, that's yes, yeah. But like, let's maybe pump the brakes on
you're supposed to take one red pill, not the whole bottle, or whatever.
Right. Like, so, being able to temper some of that is a good thing. But the problem is, most of these young men that you see that are moving in that direction have these like soft, weak ass father figures that are never around, or their homes have been taken over by the mother, who just, is the fucking brood queen and rules everything, or, that's a full-on longhouse effect. Like, they don't have strong male figures in their lives, and so they don't get anybody that's like tempering Milo and Tate and Fuentes and all of these others. And so, it's like they're just gonna run with it, and that's great, but also that's really kind of fucking scary and dangerous as well. Like, I really enjoyed Bronze Age Pervert's Bronze Age Mindset and some of the other stuff that he puts out. I don't agree with him on everything. He definitely goes, like, with some of the things that he posts on social media stuff, he goes way over the top. Some of it, is kind of fucking gay. But there's some good things in there that, like, for young men trying to figure out who they are and what the fuck they're going to do with life, there are some good concepts and ideas to latch onto and help them grow. But we need strong male role models to temper that growth and, like, show them how to do it right. And that's one of the problems with society, is we're lacking a lot of that. And that goes back to media, social media, everything. We did an episode of my show, I don't know, it's been several months ago, where we talked about, like, the TV sitcom fathers that we grew up with, like the strong male fathers that, like, would figure shit out and held the family together and had the job and, did all the stuff. Now you don't see that. Like, they don't portray men as intelligent and providers and holding it all together anymore. It's just the way that this whole world has twisted what these kids see. And it's another reason why young males are rejecting the society that they see, because it clearly hates them, and they're starting to hate it back.
Yeah. No, that's pretty well said. I've almost never heard anything Nick Fuentes has to say. I don't really care. But and Milo, I mean, speaking of cancel, like, he got fucking canceled big time years ago, essentially for admitting to being the victim of sexual abuse from an older man and claiming that he wasn't a victim. Like, that was a wild cancellation. But I never really cared for much of what he had to say as well. But I've definitely heard a lot of stuff that Andrew Tate's had to say over the last, I don't know, 8-9 months, something like that. And the vast majority of it is like, yo, like, work hard, bust your ass, go to the fucking gym, take all these, like, stop being a whiny little bitch and take all of these bad things that have happened to you and use them as fuel to become like a rich, successful guy. And then you can drive in your Bugatti he's like, yeah, have like 10 wives or whatever and a bunch of kids. So, like, yeah, he gets a little extreme, I guess, in that regard. But like the underlying message is pretty good for young men, especially when you compare it to the other one where it's like toxic masculinity and you're probably actually a woman trapped in a man's body and you should chop your dick off, so yeah, I mean, I don't envy trying to be a parent these days, man. Like, every time I think about it, I'm just like, I don't even know how you would fucking deal with that. I think you might have gotten in just under the fucking threshold of, like, the fucking insanity. Imagine having a kid, like, now, and you're gonna have, like, I saw one stat, like, by like age 10 or 11 or something, they've all started watching porn. 11 years old. Like, that's just, I don't know, dude. I don't know how you control all this fucking stuff on the internet. And then you just have, like, these retarded liberal teachers in schools that are propagandizing them. And it's just, oof.
We went 3 for 3 on the boys in the house, trying to watch porn of some sort. with the oldest, Stephanie's son, when he was living with us. He was doing it on the PlayStation on the big TV in the living room. I sat down I can't remember what I was doing. Anyway, I was getting on the PlayStation to look up a game or something. And so I just clicked on the search bar, and the first thing that popped up was like boobs or something like that, or naked women. I was like, Kalen, what the fuck, dude? I was like, I get it. You're a teenage boy. You have a phone. Do it in your own fucking bedroom. Don't do it in the living room on my fucking PlayStation. Yeah. So then we had Sean with the he was watching the HBO app and watching season 1 of True Detective. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I think you mentioned this. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your face? I mean,
yeah,
Alexandria
Alexandria Dario. Yeah. So he was taking screenshots and like saving it to a folder on the. Like, dude, like just like it's called a spank bank for a reason. Like you store it up here. You don't actually save it on the computer.
That's for the analog generation.
You stupid. Like, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like we had to fucking do shit from memory.
Right.
Because we like saw Playboy once like 6 months ago. These kids at 11 are watching like the most disgusting shit you could possibly imagine on the internet. Like that's just like teenage boy is one thing. 11, I'm sorry, dude. That's too young, man. That's too fucking young. And I'm sure, I mean, if that's like the average age, then there's like 8 or 9 year olds looking at it too.
When I was 11, that's the last thing I had on my mind. I had like way more.
How old were you at 11? Is that like 4th grade or something? 3rd grade?
4th or 5th grade, maybe.
Yeah. It wasn't the last thing on my mind, but like I couldn't imagine watching like some fucking bukkake video or something at age 11.
I don't think I want to watch a bukkake video at age 40.
Me neither, but like that's out there for him, you know, like this really went on a weird tangent.
Well, but speaking of bukkake, we got some Kamala Harris clips to get to.
There you go. Yeah. All-time great transition right there. Speaking of bukkake, here's Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris is doing the media circuit.
Verbal bukkake.
Speaking of media, I got to watch her. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and so I got to watch her for a little bit on. What's Michael Strahan on now? Is it the Today Show or anyway?
Good Morning America. I don't know.
Well, yeah, one of them. So he was interviewing her, and basically, her media circuit that she's doing right now is the exact same as her fucking campaign interview circuit that she did before the election. Like, it's all the same question. She gives verbatim same answer every single fucking time. It's like, does she not have any unique individual personality that she can just like answer questions off the cuff? It's fucking insane. Anyway, here's her saying that Donald Trump's a communist dictator.
A tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now, Donald Trump. And these titans of industry are not speaking up.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Apparently they are, because Kimmel's going to be back on the air tonight, right?
Well. Speaking of, yeah, I was gonna say that's an interesting one. So Kimmel's going to be back on the air tonight because Disney capitulated to the violent mob. There were multiple threats of violence that were sent into different ABC stations and affiliates. There was at least 2 different ABC stations. One of them got like shot up, multiple shots, and another one had like a single shot fired at it. But so Disney caves to the violence and made a statement yesterday. The Walt Disney Company has issued the following statement regarding Jimmy Kimmel Live. Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to further avoid inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. And in response to that, ABC's largest affiliate, Sinclair, came out and said, thanks, but no thanks, basically. They said, beginning Tuesday night, Sinclair will be preempting Jimmy Kimmel Live across our ABC affiliate stations and replacing it with news programming. Discussions with ABC are ongoing as we evaluate the show's potential return. So, like I said, Sinclair is the largest affiliate, the largest ABC affiliate. I think they have 39 ABC stations that they are responsible for, that they run. And then, not to be outdone, where is it? Nexstar, which is the second largest ABC affiliate, I believe they have 32 ABC stations. They put out their own announcement. Nexstar Media Group today announced that the company's owned and partner television stations affiliated with the ABC television network will continue to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live. We made a decision last week to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live following what ABC referred to as Mr. Kimmel's ill-timed and insensitive comments at a critical time in our national discourse. We stand by that decision, pending assurance that all parties are committed to fostering an environment of respect, constructive dialogue in the markets we serve. In the meantime, we note that Jimmy Kimmel Live will be available nationwide on multiple Disney-owned streaming products, while our stations will focus on continuing to produce local news and other programming relevant to their respective markets.
Yeah. So wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Was Sinclair also? Did they air the Charlie Kirk Memorial service? Were they planning? Who? I could have sworn it was Sinclair. Like they were supposed to, and then they cowered to threats of violence, and then ended up just putting it on like YouTube or something.
Yeah, I know Nexstar ran it, and Sinclair had been running like a memorial type of a thing in Jimmy Kimmel's spot at night, and that might have been what they caved on and pulled down.
I believe they did, but take that with a grain of salt. I mean, and so you hear, yeah, I saw all these like leftists celebrated, like, yeah, we did it because, like, make no mistake, this was because like we hit them in their wallets, and that's why they caved. And that's just like, I'm sorry, there is no evidence of that. I've pulled up their stock charts. They did not. There was no significant movement in Disney stock. Disney went. So this happened on Friday, Thursday or Friday last week.
Well, I think that's also the problem is they try to do these boycotts like when the market isn't open.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it gapped down this morning, but we're talking, it went from 114 all the way down to 112. That's what that $2 move in the stock is what did it, Justin. I mean, that's what had Disney cave. Nexstar had a similar decline. Oops. Nexstar Media Group on the NASDAQ. Yeah, another whopping from 209 all the way down to 202. Although it was at 221 about a month ago, so it's like, yeah. They're still near all-time highs. They did not take a hit to their fucking wallet. Much more realistically is that the fucking CEOs of these companies are looking around at the Mangione effect, and they just saw a guy get shot in the fucking throat, and now they're shooting at their fucking ABC stations. They're violent mobs threatening violence. It's like, yeah, apparently they're more afraid of the deranged fucking leftist mob than they are of Donald Trump's dictatorship. because all the threats, the implicit threats, the tacit threats from the FCC and Donald Trump's dictatorship didn't seem to have that big of an effect because they caved after a few days. That is much more likely a scenario as to why there's the sudden change of heart here.
Hey, good on Nexstar and Sinclair for holding, sticking to their guns and saying they're going to continue to keep Kimmel off air on their networks, and that accounts for right at 30%. I've seen different numbers, but from everything that I've been able to find, what looks like hard numbers, that's between 30 to 33% of ABC's total affiliates is Sinclair and Nexstar. So that's a pretty big hit. And then there are two others. One of them, Gray, tends to go whatever direction Sinclair goes on a lot of stuff. And so Gray is another large one. And then there's one that Nexstar is in talks to potentially buy. So it's expected that they will also go along with Sinclair and Nexstar. So if Gray and the one that Nexstar is trying to buy both do actually go through with it, that'll be between 42 and 45% of ABC's total national market that just won't get Jimmy Kimmel. And we're talking about for a show that was already doing a million. Yeah, a million total and 129,000 in the target demographic, or the key demographic. That's,
because it's only people in probably LA, New York, Chicago that watch him, and all these other affiliates that are, in flyover country, not interested in watching that hack. I just thought we'll take a look at the stock just to put this in perspective, because here is this bar right here, this big green bar. That's Wednesday of last week. That's a week ago. I think that's about when this happened, right? Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. The stock got up to $116. Today it closed at $112.25, basically right at the low of August 11th. So that $4 move in the stock is what the left is attributing to their monumental success of getting Jimmy Kimmel back on the air. Now we're going to zoom out a little bit. We're going to zoom out, and we're going to take a look at the stock from maybe a few years ago when the right was doing their boycott. Hang on, I'm still zooming out. When it was at $202 a share. I think we could pinpoint right about the time the right did their boycott. Was it March of 2021? Sometime in 2021, between March and September, because we saw a precipitous drop from about 200 was the peak, but it chopped around 180, 175 to 185, and now it's down to 112. So to attribute their reversal on Jimmy Kimmel in a matter of 3 days, I don't think the $4 in stock price did it.
Well, and the thing that we've talked about multiple times before is, do the left boycotts actually work? Because they talk about boycotting stuff, but the things that they talk about boycotting are things that they weren't using anyway. Or as we know from just political contributions, the left don't actually put their money where their mouth is ever. It's the right are the ones who actually put money towards things that they care about, and at the same time withhold money from things that they care about if those things are not reflecting what they want to see.
Look at this little blip here. This is what did it, Justin.
That's
this
it.
Little move here, right there.
It's barely a nipple.
That's how they're claiming victory. I'm sure it had nothing to do with thousands. I'm sure the thousands of death threats that the CEOs got after watching at least one CEO this year get murdered in cold blood, just walking down the fucking street. A week after watching Charlie Kirk get shot in the throat. And days after seeing a couple of their studios shot up by deranged leftists who were apparently like the one guy that shot the place up multiple times, like didn't hit anybody, but they released them. The cops released them immediately. I heard the FBI swooped in and picked them up right after that, thankfully. But like to attribute, yeah. I mean, what do you think is more likely? The CEOs were like, yeah, I don't feel like dying over this Jimmy Kimmel thing, so I'll put him back on the air, or the $4 move in their stock price over the last week. I mean, like, come on, let's be fucking serious here. But the real interesting thing is that they're clear. I mean, let's take the left at their word. Like, let's say they're 100% right, correct, that they canceled Jimmy Kimmel temporarily because of the threat from Donald Trump's FCC. And 3 days later, they reinstated Jimmy Kimmel because of the threat of violence from the leftist mob. So apparently, as bad as the, Nazi dictatorship that is Donald Trump, apparently, at least according to Disney, and I don't know, whoever else is putting Jimmy Kimmel back on, apparently they're more afraid of the leftist mob than they are Donald Trump's fascist dictatorship.
It just proves what I've always said. Violence is the answer. And if it's not, you're asking the wrong question.
It's really something, man. It's really something. And then to just watch them gaslight the right. I mean, I didn't watch any of the Nazi rally that they had in honor of Charlie Kirk. I caught Charlie Kirk fatigue I just can't fucking deal with it much more. But so I didn't watch any of it, but I saw like a couple clips of them just like praying and stuff. And then, yeah, they had like some sparklers going or whatever. That's it. That's what you got. Like, that's your Nazi rally or something, that we're supposed to be afraid of these people. They did leave some garbage behind. That's the real tragedy. They didn't pick up after themselves in the parking lot.
Did you see the thing on that? There was a full video that like went over the place and talked about it and looked at it. So while they were there in line, there were estimated like 200,000 to 300,000 people that were waiting in and around the facility to get in. And because of the size of the crowd, they didn't put trash cans out there, because where's a good place to hide a bomb? A trash can. So rather than have trash cans everywhere that had to be checked for bombs and creating additional hazards for everybody that's out there, they left everything on the grounds completely clear. That way there was nowhere to hide stuff, nowhere to, nothing that could be, anything that would be suspicious would stick out like a sore thumb. So everybody was instructed that, there are no trash cans. Just drop your trash. Don't worry about it. We've got it taken care of. As soon as everybody was into the facility, they had cleaning crews ready that moved in and swept, cleaned, and scrubbed everything. Like, as soon as the streets and everything were clear, they cleaned everything up. It was, yeah. But
I figured they would clean it up. I mean,
but because people were like dropping trash on the ground while they were out there waiting, they're all like, "Oh, look at them littering and stuff." Remember the pro-gun rally that happened in? I want to say DC? It was in, huh? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I want to say it was in DC, where you had videos of like after the rally was done, they all stayed and picked up their trash, and even like there were even people that had scrapers that were down on the sidewalks scraping their stickers, like the stickers that they had that fell off, scraping the stickers up off the sidewalk and cleaning everything up. Like, they left the place cleaner when they were done with their rally than what it was before they got there. Like, when has an Antifa or a BLM rally cleaned up after themselves? Oh, wait, they usually burn buildings down.
Yeah, rallies being generous. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's the whole point. It's like, okay, yeah. What compared to what? Compared to you guys burning down cities for 6 months? I'll take even if they didn't pick up the trash, I'll take the trash on the ground. compared to you guys just assaulting people and robbing stores. And I mean, I don't think anybody ever got official numbers on how many people died, but it was in the dozens. So yeah, compared to what? Compared to you fucking retards? Yeah, they're doing a great job actually. And there hasn't been one riot. There hasn't been one, nobody assaulted. Nobody shot up some leftist building or something. Nothing but peaceful mourning of a guy that they liked. And that's just apparently, obviously that's a Nazi rally, because anytime you get a bunch of conservatives together in a room, I guess it's just Nazis. All right. These motherfuckers, dude. But yeah, congratulations. Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air. Now you guys
and they're all mad because Trump was censoring Jimmy Kimmel, even though Disney's execs said that the FCC, Trump, nobody ever actually reached out to them. They had already made the decision on pulling Kimmel before Brendan Carr went on the Benny Johnson podcast anyway. But then you got shit like this, where Google admits censorship under Biden and promises to end bans of YouTube accounts and thousands of Americans censored for political speech. Today, thanks to the oversight of Chairman Jim Jordan, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations on topics such as COVID-19 and elections an opportunity to return to the platform. Google also admitted the following to the House Judiciary Committee. The Biden administration pressured Google to censor Americans and remove content that did not violate YouTube's policies. The Biden administration's censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Public debate should never come at the expense of relying authorities. The company will never use third-party fact checkers. Europe's censorship laws target American companies and threaten American speech, including the removal of lawful content. These major admissions came after Chairman Jordan's subpoena to Google and a years-long investigation into the company. So that's what your fascism actually looks like. That's what government controlling and taking away free speech actually looks like. Not Disney deciding to pull Jimmy Kimmel.
A shitty show that nobody was watching.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's unbelievable. It's fucking infuriating. Yeah. Okay. 4 years later, great. Now that the moment has passed and you guys have successfully fucking shut everybody up, now you admit it. And you know what else came out over the last week or so that almost got no attention whatsoever was that the Biden administration was investigating Turning Points USA and a bunch of other conservative organizations. They actually just the one thing I've always said I liked about Donald Trump is that he's so naked about everything that he does. He says, oh, yeah, like maybe we should look into this. Maybe we should do that. And people freak out. Be like, oh, my God, look what the government's doing. I was like, yeah, no, they've been doing it the whole time. You just didn't know about it because your fucking corporate press is nothing but a propaganda wing for the dictatorship that's in power. And they're not going to report on it. Barack Obama was busted using the IRS to attack journalists. Joe Biden using, I don't know, I forget who was doing the investigation, maybe something out of the DOJ or whatever, investigating who? Oh, the largest political opponents, like Turning Points USA, which is like the only organization that's generating turnout among young people to be Republicans. So we're going to investigate them. That threat is, they were using it. They've been busted using it. Now they've admitted to using it in the case of Google and YouTube. But this has always been there. And the threat from Donald Trump's FCC, yeah, maybe that played like a 5% role or something, just knowing that threat is out there. And it's always out there. Like they didn't need that guy to go on a podcast and say anything to realize that the FCC could be up their ass if they violate their policies or whatever. They know that. It's, oh, Jesus, dude. To act like this is, the first time that there's been censorship and it just happened to be on Jimmy Kimmel, it's just so, It's so disingenuous and so dishonest. And like you said, it's not even really, I mean, it was never a free speech issue. It's not really censorship. It's like, okay, yeah, the guy's numbers were terrible. Nobody was watching him. 129,000 in the key demo. And the key demo are these ones that are protesting and rioting and all over Twitter and everything like that, right? 18 to 49. Okay. It's not, I mean, I guess that one dude that was busted for shooting up the ABC place was like 64. But, yeah, they don't watch this shit anyway. And if he wanted to, he could go out, he could start a YouTube channel tomorrow and say whatever he wanted, and YouTube would never censor anything that he says.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah,
God,
he would never lose monetization. He would never be deplatformed. He can say and do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. And meanwhile, conservatives and libertarians were tiptoeing around, like people that were actually, you know, whose livelihood was dependent on YouTube channels and things like that. Not us, but they were tiptoeing around these fucking issues, and they wouldn't say this and they couldn't say that. And because, you know, if you just mention the word vaccine, your entire episode would get pulled from YouTube. And then remember what happened with our strikes? They fucked around with like retroactively gave us like 2 strikes and then gave us the 3rd one on a current episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. They pull all kinds of shit, dude. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sorry, an apology and we'll never do it again. Fuck off. Fuck off.
You're going to restore all that content? You're going to restore all those videos that I made? You're going to, no, like none of that's coming back.
No. And then not to mention the 4+ years you could have, you know, promoted the channel and generated some sort of a following. But more importantly, it's like, yeah, a lot of people didn't get the important message that was the truth. And so they walked around for 4 years thinking that, you know, these things that they were putting in their arms were going to save them from something that wasn't even really a danger in the first place.
Well, and most importantly, that was at the behest of the Biden White House. That is straight up what the First Amendment is intended for, to protect against the government censoring you. It, like Jimmy Kimmel getting pulled by Disney is not what the First Amendment is intended for. Like, your employer can decide that they don't want you saying that, and if you decide to keep saying it, then they can tell you, no, you don't get to keep doing that. And did you see where Jerry, what's his face of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, resigned?
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't kept up with Ben and Jerry's, I don't eat Ben and Jerry's because I don't want to support that fucking psychopath. And there's also better ice cream, in my opinion. Anyway, so Ben and Jerry's social media is just full-on activism platform. Ben and Jerry's sold out to Unilever back in like the early 2000s. So Ben and Jerry don't own Ben and Jerry's. They are allowed to run Ben and Jerry's through their partnership with Unilever, who owns it. Jerry quit because he said that Unilever is not allowing them to be woke anymore. Okay. Have you seen the most recent Dove commercials? Have you seen any of the other products that Unilever owns? They have no fucking problem with all the woke, retarded, DEI, insane bullshit. Totally fine with all of that. Where they saw a problem, in my estimation, is Jerry was running Ben & Jerry's social media like his own personal fucking sounding board to go after the right wing, basically. And I think Unilever more or less was like, if you don't stop this, we're going to end up on the wrong side of a Bud Light style, boycott. And what have we all learned? The right wing knows how to fucking boycott. When they decide to pull their money, all of a sudden you lose a whole lot of fucking money. Like, I think Unilever was like, if you keep doing this and you keep taking the Ben & Jerry's brand social media in this direction, we are going to end up on the wrong end of one of these. So you got to fucking knock it off. Like, don't sacrifice our profitability for your insanity. And so he quit. he decided to resign.
Yeah, I did see that. In my entire life, I have never bought 1 pint of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Never will. I was always like, yep, he's like some fucking liberal twink. I hate his messaging. Not buying his fucking product. And I also don't buy that much ice cream to begin with, but yeah, I don't know what Chunky Monkey is. Is that the one with like peanut butter chocolate things? Some of the flavors always sounded like kind of good, but yeah, I don't know.
I prefer Blue Bunny. I think it's softer and has a better flavor.
I never would really buy a lot of ice cream that had like a lot of stuff in it. I'm a purist. Some vanilla. I like coffee ice cream.
Johnny's like homemade vanilla. That's it.
Yeah.
No frills or bullshit.
I'm a fucking purist.
My granddad made some bomb homemade vanilla ice cream when he was alive. Like me and Dad have tried, and it's just not the same.
No, I made some good ice cream once upon a time. Coffee basil is a great combination. Sounds kind of weird, but it is fucking delicious. But yeah, it wasn't that hard. You just get that stupid ice cream maker, throw it in the freezer for a little bit. A lot of eggs. I think that's what gives it a lot of the richness is the egg yolks. But yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Ben and Jerry's ice cream, yeah, whatever. Yeah, good riddance. Good riddance. We got anything else today?
Not really. I got more Kamala Harris clips, but we can save those for later. Because she's going to continue this media tour, and we're going to get more of her being dumb and saying dumb shit.
There were some stunning admissions in there that I see coming out from her. I mean, I guess not stunning. Everybody kind of knew them, but it's funny to hear her say it now that it's all over. Like she didn't think having the fucking gay dude on her ticket would play well.
And then when Rachel Maddow asked her about that, she's like, "Oh no, I didn't say that." It's like, "Bitch, did you read your own book?" Like, yes, you did.
Probably not.
Yeah, somebody else wrote that for her. She absolutely has no fucking clue what's in that book.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't believe she's doing a book tour, dude. These people, they are fucking shameless. They are absolutely fucking shameless. They will do anything for a buck. Anything. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, stop looking to these politicians as like some principled person that you can look up to that are going to work for you. No. They're all out there for themselves. Any person that had one shred of dignity would have slinked off into the fucking sunset, never to be heard from again after an embarrassing, humiliating defeat to Donald Trump. You don't go and write a book about fucking shitting the bed in the quickest fucking 2.5 month presidential campaign.
She should have taught her book how to take $1 billion and still end up $30 million in debt.
Yeah. But yeah, let me run the country and the finances. We'll turn this economy around. Hey, what, dude? You pissed through $1 billion in 3 months, 3 fucking months, and you had nothing to show for it. I mean, that is the perfect example of how government's going to handle your money. She didn't work for any of that money. She didn't even have to fucking fundraise it for her. It was Joe Biden's money that they just gave to her to use. It's exactly how government gets all of their funding. They steal it from somebody else, and then they piss it away, lining their own pockets in the process. And then they somehow convince people that, oh, if you had just given her $2 billion, then she would have won and everything would be great. Now, I'm sorry, $1 billion was enough. And I'm watching these. I was listening to a podcast, this guy out in California. And dude, $24 billion they spent in the last 10 years on homelessness. I think it's 24 billion with a B. And the problem's gotten like 50% worse over the last 10 years. The $24 billion is gone. Where it went, nobody knows. But that's half of what was supposed to cure homelessness around the world. If you remember.
That one dude on Fox News suggested you could take care of it for 50 cents a head. Huh?
Kill me. That was a wild clip. That was a wild clip, and the left was freaking out about that. Did you see that there was like a shooting at a homeless encampment?
So they said
2 days later. No, dude. So
was it legit?
Because there's shootings there all the time. So Brian Kilmeade was had this throwaway comment right before they went. I think it was right before they went to break or something, but maybe that's just where the clip ended. They were talking about the homeless problem, and some dude was like, "Oh yeah, we should put them in these, shelters or asylums or something." And then Kilmeade's like, "Or you could just, lethal injection, kill them all or something." And then it cuts away. And he came out and apologized the next day or something. And then the left picks it up and he came out here and said, kill all these homeless people. And then there was a shooting in the homeless encampment and 2 people died or something like that. And here's Jimmy Kimmel and they're firing him, but Kilmeade's still on the air. And it's well, there's a couple things there. The FCC doesn't have any jurisdiction over Fox. They only have it over the national TV stations or whatever, NBC, ABC, CBS. I looked into the shooting, and yes, there was a shooting. I guarantee you the shooting had nothing to do with this homeless guy watching Fox News daily, whatever show that was. There was 3 shootings in the 2 weeks before it as well. So this wasn't an anomaly. It wasn't oh, these homeless encampments are totally safe and nothing ever bad happens. And then Kilmeade's hey, kill them all. And then somebody goes and tries to kill them all. No, there's a couple shootings there every week. But they try to pawn it off on Kilmeade, be yep, this is the reason why somebody went to a homeless encampment and shot everybody. There were 100 reasons why.
There were 2 different incidents that very night. They just reported on the worst of the 2. And nobody was killed in either of them.
And then if you look back over the last couple of weeks, there was 5 or 6 shootings or so. I forget exactly what the numbers were, but it's a pretty common occurrence, believe it or not. Homeless encampments are not very safe places to be hanging around. And the idea that it's because they watched Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends or whatever, it's just that's the most retarded thing. I could think of 100 reasons why somebody would want to go shoot up a homeless encampment.
Oh, I'm sorry. One person did die a couple days later.
There you go. Of all of the top 100 reasons, it wasn't, oh yeah, I got my instructions from Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends. It was that guy stole my cart of stuff. I'm sick of having these fucking homeless junkies on my street. I could see somebody fucking losing it and just be shooting everybody over that.
Or that guy owed me money and
yeah, or he stole my drugs, or I want his drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nope. Brian Kilmeade, my favorite Fox News host. Okay, guys, you fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. There really is. I wonder how do you think Kimmel's numbers are going to do tonight? You going to watch?
I actually, out of just, if I can stay awake, because I've had a pretty busy day and I worked last night. If I can stay awake, I might sit down and watch at least for a little while to I'd like to see his opening monologue and see what he has to say, because I fully suspect either he's going to completely act like nothing happened at all and just hit the ground running with his normal dumb shit self, or he's going to double down. Now, from what I've read from different things, Sinclair and Nexstar are continuing to preempt him because he's not going to do an apology. He's not going to do anything to walk it back. He's not doing anything to try to fix the situation. So until he's willing to do something, they're not putting him back on the air.
Yeah, they said he negotiated something. It's all right, I wonder what that negotiating. He was probably hey, did you see all those death threats after seeing Charlie Kirk get shot and that CEO of the fucking United Health or whatever? You still want to keep me off the air? It's that was most likely his negotiating tactic. But I know Gavin Newsom's supposed to be his guest. I believe that's a true story.
Nobody cares about the guests anyway.
Yeah. Well, Gavin Newsom had the Nazi white supremacist on his podcast. It was his first guest, I think. Wasn't Charlie Kirk his first guest?
Probably.
It was one. I think he was the first one. If not the first one, he was like one of the first. And remember, Newsom sort of backpedaled on the trannies in sports.
Oh yeah,
and that got the left all bent out of shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Gavin Newsom, I'm sure, will not say anything nice about Charlie Kirk, even though he sat down and had like a perfectly pleasant hour-long or maybe even longer than that conversation with the guy. New scum. All right. Yeah, I mean, I bet you he'll see a bump in the numbers tonight, and then by next week he'll be back to the 129,000.
If even that, I mean, if he's not on Nexstar and Sinclair, he might not even get that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
oh shit! I gotta go pick up my daughter.
You gotta go. All right. Well, don't forget to head over to expatmoneysummit.com. October 10th through the 12th is their online summit. The future is Latin America. This is where you figure out how to rearrange your lifestyle, set up a plan B to maximize your freedom and your liberty. It is free to attend. All you have to do is go to expatmoneysummit.com. Reserve your free ticket today. You just got to put in your email and you're good to go. There's going to be a lot of good speakers there. Not necessarily speaking on the, Ron Paul, I don't think has much to offer you in terms of Latin American plan B, but he can at least lay the framework for why that might be necessary. And then if you want to get into the nitty gritty on how to actually execute on that sort of a plan, Mikkel Thorpe, nobody knows more about that stuff than he does. Dear friend of the show. So go support him and everything he's doing. expatmoneysummit.com, October 10th through the 12th. And I think that'll do it for today. Justin's got to go do something. You going to work?
I got to pick up my daughter.
Oh, the smart one?
Yeah, the smart one.
All right, yeah.
If I don't show up on time, she gets really mad. And she's the scary kid. She's the one that would actually try to hurt me. So I have to be on time for that one.
All right. Well, you better get out of here. Thank you all so very much for listening. We will be back on Friday. Maybe just me, depending on Justin's gastrointestinal bullshit. But until then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.